Hello and welcome to Easy Math channel. This week we will look at function tables. So given an equation, how to plot that equation on a graph using a function table. So there might be a situation, or there might be different scenarios where we are given an equation, and most of the time we are asked to plot that equation on a graph. So for example, on an x and a y coordinate system. So in order to simplify the plotting of a given equation onto a graph, we will use a function table. So here we will look at how to create a function table, and then in the subsequent examples we will study how to plot this into a graph using function table. So for example, let's say this is our equation, which is y equals x plus 1, and a function table is nothing but we have two columns, x and a y, and we'll just substitute values for x, different values for x, and then using this equation we will see what's the value of y. Now usually in a function table it's always easier to pick a whole number. So if you pick a whole number for x, so you get a whole number for y when you solve an equation. That's like an easy thing to start solving or start making a function table. And I always pick uh, x equals 0 as one value because it's always good to understand, where, if x, like how is it going to pass through x-axis or y-axis. So let's look at this example. So when x is minus 2, y is minus 2 plus 1, which is minus 1. So when x is minus 1, y is minus 1 plus 1, which is 0. So when x is 0, y is 0 plus 1, which is 1. And when x is 1, y is 1 plus 1 equals 2. When x is 2, y is 2 plus 1 equals 3. When x is 3, y is 3 plus 1 equals 4. So the different y values that we get is minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this is what a function table is. So just pick any value for x and then solve using the equation what's the value of y. Okay, so we'll use this example, or not an example, use this concept and solve other problems. So in this case we have the equation y equals 3x minus 3, and this is our empty graph, and we'll try to plot this equation into this graph. So when x is minus 2, we get y as 3 times minus 2 minus 3, which is 3 times minus 2 is minus 6, and minus 3 is minus 9. 3 times minus 1 minus 3, so 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, and then minus 3 is minus 6. 3 times 0 minus 3 is minus 3. 3 times 1 minus 3 is 3 minus 3, which is 0. 3 times 2 minus 3 is 6 minus 3 is 3. And then 3 times 3, so I'm just replacing x with these values. So 3 times 3 minus 3 is 9 minus 6, sorry, 9 minus 3 equals 6. All right, so we will try to plot this line into a graph now. So remember, whenever we mark a point in, so this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis, in a coordinate system, it's always the pairing is x comma y. So in the first case, x is minus 2 and y is minus 9. Second case, x is minus 1, y is minus 6. Then we have 0 comma minus 3. then we have 1 comma 0, then we have 2 comma 3, and then we have 3 comma 6. Okay, so let's start with the first, which is minus 2. So minus 2 is here, x, and then minus 9 is here. So this is our first point. Second is minus 1 and minus 6. So this is minus 1 and this is minus 6. This is our second point. Then we have 0 comma minus 3. So 0 comma minus 3. This is our, so x is 0 and y is minus 3. This is our third point. Next we have 1 comma 0. So 1 comma 0. 1, x is 1 and y is 0. This is our point 4. Then we have 2 comma 3. So 2 and 3. X is 0. X is 2 and y is 3. And then we have 3 comma 6. So that. And if we try to draw a line, let's draw a line. Draw a line that passes through each of these points. All right, oops, sorry. Let me move it. Okay. So we plotted all the dots first, so x comma y, and then we drew a line that passes through each of these points. So this line, let me go back to my pen. So this line has an equation of y equals 3x minus 3, which is same as this. So this is how we make a line graph, a graph on using an equation. So first step is function table. Second step is all the y coordinates. And then this is the third step, which is drawing all the points and then passing the line that and drawing a line that passes through all the points. Cool. Let's look at the second example, which is y equals half x plus 1. Now since x is multiplied by half, I chose the numbers, those are divisible by 2 to make this math easy. Like if I were to choose 1, for example, say x equals 1, then I'll get 0.5 and plus 1. So y will be again in fraction. So just to simplify this equation, I chose x, which is which is divisible by 2. So therefore I chose minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2, 4, and 6. So all those numbers are divisible by 2. And it's always a good idea to also pick negative numbers. So as we saw in the last graph, because we'll have points not just for the positive boundaries but also for the negative boundaries, so it just becomes easier to understand. All right, so this is the first step, which is function table, and we will try to solve for each value of x what's the value of y. So when x is minus 4, we get half times minus 4 plus 1, so this is negative 2 plus 1, so negative 1. Second half times, we get half times negative 2 plus 1, which is minus 1 plus 1, 0. Then I get half times 0 plus 1, which is 0 plus 1 is plus 1. Then we get half times 2 plus 1, which is 1 plus 1, 2. Then we have half times 4 plus 1, which is 2 plus 1 is 3. And then we have half times 6 plus 1, which is 3 plus 1 equals 4. So now the second step is xy coordinate, listing all our xy coordinates. So we get minus 4 comma minus 1, which is here, minus 4 minus 1. Then we have minus 2 comma 0. Then we have 0 comma 1. then we have 2 comma 2, then we have 4 comma 3, and then we have 6 comma 4. All right, so the third step is plotting all the dots or marking all the points having these coordinates. So first is x is minus 4, y is minus 1. So x is minus 4 and y is minus 1, which is this point. Then we have x is minus 2, which is this point, and then y is 0. Then we have 0 as x, and then y is 1. Then we have 2 comma 2, which is here. And then we have 4 and then 3, 4 comma 3, and then we have 6, x is 6 and y is 4, which is here. And now we will plot and we will make a line that will pass through each of these. Oops, sorry. We will make a line that passes through each of these points. And we can extend this. Okay, so back to my pen now. So this line has an equation y equals half x plus 1. So that's how you plot a line. Cool, easy. So whenever you get an equation, first step is create a function table where just pick a value of x, ideally whole number, because if when you solve for y, you end up getting a whole number, and it's easier to plot and it's easier to solve. Second is list down all the xy coordinates, and third is mark all the points with these xy coordinates, and then draw a line that passes through those points, and then you get your graph for this equation. Awesome. So next week we will use the same concept and we'll try to understand or try to figure out how to find a slope for a given line, and we'll also look at how to find an intersecting points where two or more line passes through each other, and we'll look at all of that concept next week. I hope this video was useful, and I hope you like this video, and if you do, please subscribe to my channel, and please feel free to share it with your friends and anyone else, and please write your comments below. Thank you.